12:15, on the 27th, Friday the 27th of January, and done a half day today, so thought it'd be a great opportunity to go down the old Ches. There we are. So without further ado, I'll make my way down there. I'll see you down there. So I'm here in Abbotsbury fishing tackle. Just popped in before we go down to the car park, and I've just got permission from Aaron to just show you all around. So basically, it's all necessary. It's all the necessary stuff, you know, that you would need to top up with. So there are some beach rods here. There's a good assortment of main lines and leader material, stroke rig body material. There are some sea goose, Aaron, isn't it? I think.
Holy mackerel.
Oh, holy mackerel. Same sort of thing. Additives to put on your squid and that, and boost up your worm. Yeah. So we've got it all in here. All the leads, hooks all over this side. Lure, a little lure section, mainly sort of feathers and that. More lures over here, and then all of your swivels, beads, bits and pieces, a few reels as well, and plenty of bait, which is what we're really here for. See you in a bit. There we are, 3:24. So we're in the car park. Spent quite a bit of time speaking to Aaron in the shop there, and about all sorts of things, the fishing, and the the areas, this particular beach, and the purbex and that, and all sorts of bits and pieces really. Yeah, a nice rundown for a Friday afternoon, and now it's time to go and fight the ticket machine and try and get a signal. I'm going to try the app that I've got on my phone now to see if that works, if it's got a signal. See you in a bit. Right, after having a trip to the loo, perfect conditions. Sea's probably quite flat, blue sky and sun. Yeah, looking forward to this. So yeah. Didn't actually fight the ticket machine. I didn't even use the app. I used my bloody card, and I went to the second machine, which is the one that's always got that can pick up a signal for the card reader. So yeah, the one that's on the toilet block. Don't be fooled, folks. If you want to do it with your credit or debit card, use the toilet block machine. Yeah, there we go. So better unload the car and get going. Right, there's the bird sanctuary when it lines up with the beach. It's about another 300 yards down from the teeth here, and if we look around here, right, there is, my finger there, there is a black line there, black hedge, and that's the edge of the car park. So we're about halfway, we're over halfway at this point. Somewhere back there, it's about the halfway point. Probably the pillbox is about the halfway point on this walk. There you go. Basically, if it gets rammed tonight, being a Friday night with a northeasterly calm sea, a little bit frosty, it could get rammed tonight. When people come out of work, come down the beach. So the section to my right up to the Dragon's Teeth and probably beyond for 100 yards or so could be quite busy. And it's nice, it's better to fish your own water than have to share your water with everyone else. I'll explain a little bit about that a little bit later on once we're fishing. There's method in the madness. Let's get on that beach. Something that I don't normally show, so I don't think it's worth it, but I think it is worth it. So we are up on the slope here. if you put the back flap of your shelter flat onto the slope, you've got it like that. So you can put shingle on there, but then lift this up, push shingle underneath to make this level, and that makes a little trench for that to sit in whilst you're on a slope, and the rest you can just cover as you want. And then once you've done your backs, you can do the exact same for the sides. Scoop underneath, pile on top, all the way down, open shelter right out, and then being nice soft small pebble shingle, you can just rub it all flat and get it nice and level in every hand. There you go. Home sweet home. And there she is, the old Ches. We'll get a sunset this evening, get a very nice one. You'd almost think there'd be mackerel out there, and by all accounts mackerel were being caught in December, you know, the odd few. Crazy, isn't it? There we are. For the baits for tonight, fresh black, obviously not fresh out, obviously gutted, but fresh black. Some old frozen black from a freezer. New frozen black bought today in the shop. Pink squid. In the bag I also got a brand new pack of frozen squid. I'm going to try and keep that frozen. Probably might need to tuck into that tonight, that's okay. And a couple of old mackerel from freezer at home. But they're in good condition, they're not rotten or anything like that. So yeah, let's see what we can see. See what we get. Right, old baby squid. Short pulley pennel, 3 O's, Sakumas. And they do keep their sharpness even after a couple of uses. It's still sharp. They're very good. Right, I'm going to go through the body, the wide end, and then I'm going to bring the eye of the squid, point through the eye, like so, and I'll just bind that one. The old cotton, where are you? Oh my God. Bind it on, don't mask the hook point. Bind him on. All the way. Right, that's good for a bite. I'm going to turn the hook point to arrange it so I can cut around there. Right, the hook point's on this side, so that is easy. That can go into the bait clip easy. Just turn the hook round, spun the body of the bait around the hook. Pennel comes down. He's going to go on the opposite side to sort of the main hook, and then pull it all into alignment like so. That's a vicious bugger, that one. Right, excuse my French. Right, onto the bait clip. He's ready to go. Good. Get that one out. Second rod will be good old flowing trace rig. This is the short one. about 2 foot floating trace. These are on size 1/0s. Right, and this is going to be on a mix, frozen black and fresh black. Frozens, just pile them on. Plenty of scent comes out of these. Pile them on. And you can press them up. They really do make a short body when you compress them up, and yet they are, you know, they're that long, but when you compress them up, you've got to compress them to get the juices going, flowing. Fresh one. Ooh, very nice, Mr. Jones. Beauty. I could almost kiss it, but I'm not going to. Even if you wanted me to. No way. Actually, I knew back in the 80s, my dad told me a story of a chap in South Africa who played a bet, or placed a bet, that this other chap wouldn't eat a lugworm, fresh dug, out the beach, and so he did, and he ate the lugworm and won the bet. There you go. Right. Let's feed it all on the top hook. Really compress it on there. Slide that down, like so. There we go. In fact, I put a bit of squid on there. Got a slither of the old squidlies. Slither of squid. Let's bring it a bit closer. Here's our worm bait. Here's our slither of squid, stinking that it may be. Pop them on there. What I'll do then, turn it, let it hang like so, the bait upside down, hold it like that. Get the old cotton, see it? There's that hook point, somewhere in here. Where's the bloody hook point gone? There's the hook point. Right, keep that clear. The only thing about this Tronic stuff, it's got this bit of Velcro on top. Now I think it's designed to hold your cotton, stop it slipping back, but it also hooks up when you're working with the stuff. But that's the idea, a bit of Velcro on the top, a bit of Velcro on the side there, just to hold the cotton. So there we go, I just turn the hook point around again so I can get it on the bait clip. A little sliver of squid on there, and oh well, it's a bit of a mess, but there we are. Get it out. Well, there's the winter sun. It's just missed that sunset, but what a lovely red, orangey red glow above the cloud line there. And then in the distance, cliffs of Lyme Regis. Look at that. And there's the rods. Glasses. Good wallet. Get a couple more rigs sorted in a bit. Get the old double pattern system up. Let's have a coffee, because it is now 5:10. Still daylight, which is good. Right, 5 o'clock mark. It's Scotch egg with coffee. Sounds a bit strange. And then din-dins a little bit later on. Wool's ice cream box. I've had that for years now as my lunch box. Take it to work, all sorts. And one's Scotchy eggy. Just going to pile the bait on tonight, really am. Take no prisoners. The funny thing is, I either fish this when it's like dead calm, or I fish it when it's mental. I never get the in-between bit, but it's time, it's having the time to be down here when it is right. One of the problems of being the inland shore angler. You know, it's up to about 2.5 hours to get down here. I love it though, you know, but I have to come down here when I can come down here. That's the thing, when I've got time to come down. So I don't know what we're in for tonight. Could be another scratcher. We'll see. Got the centuries for tonight. So the other two rods. One rod has now got 2 intermediates and a tip ring missing the inserts, and the other rod's got the butt ring missing the insert. And they've got to be rerung. They're alkanite rings, you see. That's what came from the factory. They're the Black Rock competition surf rods. I think it's something like 3 to 7 ounce or something like that. No, so I brought the centuries down tonight. They're all rung up with the old black and yellow, or green, I don't know, yes, brown and yellow, the green and yellow, I'll get it right now, black and yellow Fuji rings. Yeah, I'm going to get those other ones done. I'm going to toy with the idea of actually getting the rods rerun completely, the Black Rocks rerun completely, perhaps with the Fuji B&HGs, or I don't know what we call these old black and yellow ones. I don't know which number they are actually, but you know, something a little bit more, just want something a bit more substantial. You know, if the rod falls over on the beach or something like it did last time I was down here, I don't want it to pop the inserts, you know. Now I've got to spend money now. If there's one thing about fishing rough seas, it can cost you a bit of money. You know, you can get buried, lose your gear, your rod can get bloody blown over. Even I had a bag of shingle on the stand, and yet a wave caught the line, and then I don't know, something pulled it off balance. Of course, the bag of shingle then swung the wrong way and helped pull the stand over. But you know, it's just bad luck. It's going to cost me quite a bit of money to sort all that out. You know, there we are. That's what rough sea fishing does, all that to you. You've got to be on the ball all the time when you're fishing in a rough sea. And there we are. That's it. Like I said earlier, I don't really get a choice in the matter. I'll fish up to 30 mph wind. I try and max out around about 20-25 mph wind, but I can put up with going to 30, but anything more than that and it's just horrendous. I think one of my first early videos I did what I call a mental session. It just got worse. I think I got at 50 mph, and when I was leaving the beach it was just mental. There we go. Yeah, it's a lovely evening. It really is. Almost like a summer's evening. Beautiful. I think I said that before somewhere. If you could just be here looking at what I'm looking at now. Yeah, I'll show you. There we are, sitting in the shelter, chilling, listening to the waves and looking at that beautiful sky out there. Oh, hang on a moment, we've got to change the thing here. There we go, look at that sky. Oh, dear. I'd like to live down in Dorset, but it's just the cost of property, you know. Let's see if the rods are doing anything. I expect there'll be whiting and dogs tonight. I'd like to get an elusive codling, but you know, we'll see. It's a funny thing actually. When I went to cast those, that's the first time ever I've ever pendulum cast these compressor sports. When I'm on the rocks, it's always like an overhead cast or a little layback or something. It's, you know, it's, and so they, well, I'll see what they look like on the video when I edit it all. Yeah, cool. That sky's gone really red now. Let's put it back onto normal focus. Yeah, there you go. Let's see if we can get a bit. Look at that. It's outstanding, isn't it? It's outstanding natural beauty. Almost looks like you've got a mountain range. Just get my finger. A mountain range coming all the way along, and that's your cloud line to the horizon. Beautiful. Right, prepare some bait for the old scratching rig, because that always saves a blank. Do you know what? If there was ever a bait that a beginner would ask what bait would be best that could generally catch anything, I'd say, look, use mackerel. I've even caught codling on mackerel, believe it or not. It's crazy. You know, it's a cheap bait, it's readily available throughout the year, and if you're a beginner, just stick this on your hook and you're going to catch something. You know, it's pretty much guaranteed. So what I'm doing now, I'm just cutting little strips. Now the reason why I didn't show you how I got these fillets off is because when I take a frozen mackerel, which is pretty solid, I actually put the knife at the tail end, hold the head, and then I slide it to my hand. I can't show you that because that would be classed as dangerous, but then I don't see it as dangerous because I'm the one in control, you know. So I don't let the knife slip. There you are. I don't have any distractions when I'm doing it, so you know, there's really anything, you know, nothing can really go wrong. Most people will cut from the head and backwards if they show it to you on YouTube, but I do it the other way. But don't do what I do, you know. Do the safe way of making a fillet. But what I find is, when I do it from the tail to the head, I get a nice big straight cut there from behind the head, Little cut there, and then just slide along. If I do it the other way, it kind of scoops in. Yeah, I don't like it doing it the other way. I do it the dangerous way. There you go. Right, let's put that there. Always cut at an angle so you get a bit of length in the strip, and you get the dark and the light coloured flesh. There we go. Now, I was told about the dark and the light coloured flesh way back when I was a kid, back in the 80s, down in Cornwall. If you're using a bottom bait, if you're fishing bottom bait in mackerel, you want to use a lot of the dark side combined with the silver. And if you're using mackerel strip as a lure, you want to use more of the belly, which is flashy, you know. There we are. Nice bits of mackerel. And now just to bait up the rig. So, well, I have explained my scratching rig. Actually, the traditional name for this is Wessex Ledger, or 2 up, 1 down. The 1 down is a flowing trace from here at about 1.5 foot, say 18 or 20 inches. And the hook lengths on these is 40-pound amnesia. I was using 30-pound, but the spools with 30. I've got my spare shock leaders wrapped around those spools, so I'm using a 40-pound amnesia. Size 2. You can see that size 2 Camasan wire hook. Chunky old bit of mackerel through the skin, out through the flesh, back through, just pinch it a bit. It's quite thick for this small hook, so squeeze it a bit, then through the flesh, out through, come on now, out through the, come on now, out through the flesh. And to be honest with you, I could leave it like that, but I won't. There we are, like that, and back through the skin and out through the flesh. So that's the bottom hook done. Didn't tell you the leads I'm using tonight, because it's just like a summer sea, the 150 gram. I try and use the 150 grams all the time, to be honest with you, even when it's rough. Like I say, because I can cast them better than what I can on a 7 ounce. The same thing with these other hooks, with the higher hooks. In, out, shake it all about, in, out. Turn it and try and get the point for a 3rd time. That guarantees a bait that's well and truly wedged on the hook. And then the top hooks, that was the middle hook, top hook. Snoods on this scratcher are about 10 to 11 inches in length. I made this up yesterday. Actually took me an hour and a half. I made 2 shock leaders, 2 rigs, and I had to put new line on one of my reels. Not all of the spool, but I had to put about 150, 160 yards top up on what was on there already, just to get the line level up on it. And it all took me an hour and a half, it did. Amazing. I think the rigs that take the time for me to make are the flowing trace rigs with the SRT spring and that. It's just all fiddly. Anyway, there we are, that's the scratcher. We hang him on the stand, ready to go. Right, so what we got? We have that's a longer pulley panel. That's about I'd say probably a 2 foot pulley panel, that one. Just pure black lug tipless squid. And then we've got the scratcher with mackerel strip on. There's the rods in all their splendour. Just reeled the right hand rod in. Whole squid hadn't been touched. Might have been crabbed, but it certainly hadn't been touched by fish geese. But we'll see now. Chucked out the black lug and squid cocktail. Well, tipless squid on the pulley panel. That one's gone out now, the 2 foot pulley panel. That's the right hand rod done. I've got to do the left hand rod now. There we go. Well, pulled in the other rod, the floating trace rig, and it, as you can see, it hasn't been touched. So it's pretty dead out there at the moment, and it is 6:35. So I've been fishing about an hour and a half. Yeah, let's clean this crap off. Try not to stab myself. Yeah. You know, I'm hankering for some dinner. I really am. I'm going to try and hold off till 7 before I crack open the soup. But I mean, it's a lovely bait, isn't it? The reason why you're not catching is because there's nothing in front of you. That's why you don't catch. So you've got to try and find the fish. So this time round, both rods out in the layback cast, fishing about probably 60 to 80 yards out this time. The 3-8 flapper probably around about that, and the clip down pulley pennel probably around about, I don't know, 90 yards or something like that. The first chucks were probably over 100. What you got to remember, calm sea with the breeze behind me, just like on a tournament court. I've actually cast from up the top here, so I've got about 30 yards of dry beach to get over first before I even get into water. So they're, you know, they're probably good chucks, about 140, 150 yards. So that it means I can still cast from the top and still get over 100 yards out. I mean, you know, there's no point. You know, you don't have to go down that beach and struggle with a sloping beach behind you. You've got a shelf to cast off of. That's a good thing about Chesil. Right, that's come cleaned up. Yeah, okay. Let's clean the other one up. See, look, the whole bloody squid still there. Look at that, almost recastable to be honest with you, but I'm not going to rip it because I've got bait to use tonight. I've got to use all this bait up, so it's got to go. Yeah, so the 3-8 flapper from up the top here is probably about 60 to 80 yards out once you reach the water. Yeah, so at least I'm fishing in closer, so I might be missing a fish going out too far. You never know. One rod in close, one rod out at range, and then you try and find the fish. I'll tell you what though, I know I should be cutting these with chopping it up with scissors would be easier. Just don't want to cut my hook length. Right, so that's all cleaned up and ready for baiting. Alright, let's wash my hand. First set of bites on the right hand rod. It's 5 to 7 now. High water's at 11:30. So 8, 9, 10, 11. It's about 3.5 hours before high water, which is about right. First set of bites on the right hand rod. Scratcher rig with mackerel strips, so guess what that probably is. It's probably whiting. It looked like a whiting rattle. Hasn't come back now. There we go. We'll see what materializes. There we are. A couple of whiting in there. I'll chuck them back. Just revive them, get them back in the sea. What I was saying earlier when we were walking up on the beach, I was saying about choice of where you want to go. And if you get to a beach early, especially like Chesil Beach, you've got a lot of space, you've got loads of choice to where you go. You don't know what's going to happen. It's a Friday night, could be a Saturday night. You don't know how many people are going to come down. Actually, as it is, up at Abbotsbury, up at the car park, and there's only a few anglers up there tonight. There's probably good reason for it. It's really been scratchy. I just had another white in, which I've chucked out, of course. But there could have been a lot of anglers. So I walked down past Dragon's Teeth, and regardless of whether loads of people turn up on the beach or not, if loads of people turn up, I'm down here at the bird sanctuary. They've got to walk a long way to get anywhere near me. Now, you fish with a load of anglers, you've got a lot of bait in the water. There's two ways of looking at this. You can attract fish, or you'll end up sharing the fish that are in front of you, and that means some anglers will catch, some won't. Amongst those anglers, the ones that fish out further, cast quite a bit further than their neighbours, may well pick up a second band at range where there is another group of fish coming through, which they might pick up. Again, the people casting short wouldn't pick up. The angler fishing on his own a few hundred yards away from the crowd, well, he might not be into the fish because the fish have moved up to where all the scent's coming from. The scent's coming from all those baits all crammed together. The other way of looking at it, of course, is you're fishing on your own away from the crowd, and you've got your own water in front of you, and the only bait in that area is your bait. So any fish that come along, you don't have to share with other anglers, and so you probably get a chance of getting first bite. And that's the way I prefer to look at it. So, you know, weather's nice, you know, not being battered about by wind and that, I can walk the distance and have a pleasant night's fishing. There you go. That's the way I look at it. So two ways. I know with smooth hounds, they like a lot of baits in the water, and it seems to get them going. They start to, in their packs, they tend to sort of hit the beach, and everyone starts catching all in a line. They do all along the beach. But I think generally, if you can get away from other anglers, you know, on the beach, you fish your own water. I think, you know. Yeah, I know in a match, the only tool you've got in your armoury is distance castings or short casting, and if everyone's chucking out long, it might pay to fish short. You know, got to try and fish your own water, I believe. But tonight, scratchy. There we go. Well, it's now 9:15. I've moved the rods to the right hand side here. Yeah, last hour I've just been fishing on the lug bait, and that's been dead, so I've got the scratcher rig back out on the right hand rod, and I believe with mackerel, and straight away I think it's only been out about 5 minutes. I think there's something found it, literally just plopped it about 50 yards out, the scratcher. Anyway, yeah, there's definitely something having a go on there. Let's have a look now on the right hand rod. Yeah, I don't know how much more filming I can get because the battery is freezing again tonight. Bloody phone battery's down there. Yeah, that's whiting. Yeah, well, there we go. We'll see. strap. Just gone 1 in the morning on the 28th. It's always knackering walking back. No, there we are, that's the way it is. So I end up with 4 whiting and 1 strap. Very scratchy session. So yeah, I just ain't been able to get down here at the right time to get into the fish. It's a shame really. 2022 was a bit of a washout for me as regards to Chesil. Just couldn't put the time in on Chesil. It's the way it is sometimes, isn't it? Anyway, time to go home, and hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, as I always say, ciao for now.